Okay, so you aced your resume and cover letter and landed the interview. Congratulations. Now comes that common, and for many, super dreaded question. Tell me about yourself. You'd think be the easiest thing in the world, right? But so many people freeze up.
It's really interesting, isn't it, how this seemingly simple question can throw people off. And it really is a make or break moment. In this deep dive, we're going to give you a framework, a strategy to answer this question like a total pro. And for that, we looked at some expert advice out there, especially this YouTube video transcript. It really digs deep into the psychology behind this question.
I liked how the video got right to the heart of why interviewers even ask this. I mean, yeah, sure, it can help break the ice. For some people who are nervous walking into an interview, it's familiar ground, talking about themselves, a way to ease into the conversation.
You're spot on. It is about setting a comfortable tone, getting things flowing. But the real reason, the one that should matter most to you, is that it lets the hiring manager see if you're even a good fit for this specific job. And that's where preparation comes in. The source we looked at really emphasized that knowing the job description inside and out is crucial before you even think about your answer.
So let's talk about structuring that answer. The video recommended this really smart framework called SEAT. And, it's kind of fitting because you're probably going to be sitting down in that interview. So what does S stand for? Skills, right?
Right. S for skills. But it's not just about listing every single skill you have. It's about showing how your skills match what's in that job description we just talked about. The source gave some really useful examples of skills that employers tend to look for.
Yeah, like collaboration. Being able to work well with others, that's huge for most companies. And, of course, problem solving, showing you can think on your feet and find solutions. Then there's customer service, being good with people, handling situations well.
And let's not forget communication and listening skills. I mean, think about it. Almost every job requires you to explain things clearly and understand what others are saying. And being able to work under pressure, to stay cool when things get tough, that's another big one. Then there's planning and prioritizing, managing your time and getting things done. But it's not just about listing these skills. Have you seen any examples of how people actually demonstrate these skills in their... Tell me about yourself.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Instead of just saying, I have great communication skills, you'd say something like, in my last job, I gave regular updates on projects to different teams, which helped everyone stay on track, meet deadlines. It's about showing, not just telling. Okay, so we've got S for skills. Now what?
E is for education and experience. Here, you'll want to briefly talk about your education, like what degrees or certificates you have, and any work experience that directly relates to the job. Notice I said directly relates. It's not about reciting your entire life story, just the parts that make you a good fit for this specific position. In fact, before you go into the interview, look at the job description and pick out the top maybe 3-5 most important keywords or requirements they list, and think of something specific from your own background that aligns with each one.
I love that. That's a really practical tip. It's all about painting a clear picture of why you're the right person for this opportunity. So we've got skills, education, and experience. What's next in our seat?
A for achievements. This is where you get to highlight some of the things you've accomplished. But the video pointed out something really important. Your approach should differ depending on where you are in your career.
Makes sense. What did it suggest for people who already have work experience?
It said to focus on your accomplishments in previous roles. And whenever you can, quantify your achievements. So instead of saying, I improved customer satisfaction, you could say, I introduced a new system that led to a 15% increase in positive customer feedback within 6 months. See the difference? Adding those specifics really makes a statement.
Right. It paints a much clearer picture.
Yeah.
Now, what about people who are just starting out, maybe fresh out of college or without a ton of work experience? What kind of achievements can they talk about?
For them, the video said to think about things like academic achievements, any big projects they worked on, or even things they did outside of school or work. Maybe you excelled in a class that's super relevant to this job, or you have specific certifications. Even being active in clubs or volunteer work can show skills like leadership or teamwork. It's about highlighting those times when you took initiative and made something good happen, even if it wasn't in a traditional job setting. I know it can feel a little weird, tooting your own horn, but it's crucial in this situation. Think of it as sharing evidence, not bragging.
I like that. Evidence, not bragging.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered skills, education and experience, and achievements. That leaves us with a T in SEAT. What's that all about?
T stands for type of person and future contributions. This is where you get to show a bit more of your personality, who you are beyond what's on your resume, and what you're excited to bring to the company.
It's like going beyond the bullet points and showing them the real you.
Exactly. The video emphasized that you should focus on those traits that are relevant to the job. For example, are you known for being resourceful? Do you have an incredible eye for detail? Are you a great team player? These are the things you can weave in. But it's not just about who you are now, it's also about what you plan to do in the future, how you see yourself contributing to the team and the company's success.
So it's about showcasing your personality, your strengths, and your aspirations for this role. Now, the video gave a sample answer to Tell Me About Yourself that really brought all these SEAT elements together. Can we break it down and see what makes it so effective?
For sure. It started off by thanking the interviewer for the opportunity, which is always a nice touch. Then, right away, it mentioned that the candidate had read through the job description carefully. That shows you've done your homework and you're serious about the position.
Yeah, it shows you're not just applying to every job out there. You're genuinely interested in this role. And then the example answer went on to say that the candidate was confident they had the skills, qualities, and knowledge to really make a difference in the role. It's a strong, positive statement about your potential value.
And they didn't just stop there. They backed it up with specific examples: resourceful, efficient, detail-oriented, and a team player. These aren't just random adjectives. They paint a picture of how this person works. They also mention specific qualifications and certifications, like being proficient in Microsoft Office and having customer service experience. And they tied it all together by saying they're ready to hit the ground running. That phrase is powerful because it assures the interviewer you'll be up to speed quickly.
I love that. It shows immediate value. What else did you notice about this example answer?
They even talked about personal habits that support work performance, like taking care of their well-being to stay focused and energized. It's a subtle way to show responsibility and commitment.
Yeah, it shows you're proactive about being a reliable and effective employee. Anything else stand out to you?
Well, they also connected their extracurricular activities, like playing team sports, to relevant workplace skills, particularly teamwork and collaboration. It's a more interesting way to show you're a team player than just saying it outright.
And much more memorable. Did they talk about their future goals at all?
Yes, they expressed a strong desire to keep learning and growing with the company, which shows ambition and loyalty. And finally, they wrapped it up by saying they're committed to delivering a great return on investment and helping the company succeed in the market. It's a forward-looking statement that directly addresses what the employer cares about. What resonated most with you about this example?
Honestly, it was how personalized it felt, even though it was just a general example. It covered so many of the SEAT points in a natural, flowing way. The skills that match the job, the relevant qualifications, the positive personal qualities, and that focus on contributing to the company's success. It was concise, but really impactful.
It really does show how to structure your answer effectively, and it all comes back to that SEAT framework: skills, education experience, achievements, and type of person, future contributions. It's a clear, easy-to-remember way to organize your thoughts and prepare a strong answer.
So for everyone listening, the key takeaway is to really use this SEAT structure. But remember, it's not a cookie-cutter template. You have to adjust it for every single job you apply for. Don't just use a generic response. Take the time to really understand what the employer is looking for and tailor your SEAT accordingly.
This brings up a really important question for you to think about. How can you identify your strongest skills and achievements and present them in a way that directly speaks to the hiring manager's needs? How can you make sure your "tell me about yourself" doesn't just answer the question, but really grabs their attention and shows them the unique value you bring? It takes some self-reflection and careful thought about the specific jobs you want. But it's worth it to craft an answer that makes you stand out as a candidate they can't forget.